I chose three very different books, and only after I finished them and I started working on this presentation, I realized that they all three, though very different, have a common thread. And that thread is they all have within them a traumatic event or events. And the characters, all in their very completely different ways, try to go on with their lives afterward. And many of them take place from 3 years all the way through 40 years. They also deal with family secrets. Let me explain. Signal Fires by Dani Shapiro opens on a summer night in 1985. 3 teens, 15-year-old Theo, 17-year-old Sara, and Theo's supposed girlfriend, 15-year-old Misty Zimmerman, are in a car and Theo's driving. Now, he doesn't have a learner's permit or anything like that, and he's not driving well, and Sara, his sister, thinks she should take the wheel and then decides not to because she is drunk. A crash ensues, and you know this within the first couple pages of the book. And an ancient oak tree in front of their house is what they crash into. The car is demolished. Blood is everywhere. They manage to get out of the car. And Misty Zimmerman, however, was not wearing her seatbelt. And there's blood gushing from her head. And their father hears them. Now, father is a doctor, Dr. Benjamin Wilf. He runs down, he pulls Misty from the car. And at that moment, he realizes he's done the wrong thing. So there's a second huge error in judgment that night. In his case, it was a professional error. Now, the book goes on to explore what the effects of that accident are on everyone's life, on the two teens, and on the father. What they do is they never discuss this event, and Sara says that she was driving. She takes the blame for her brother. It's never explored. Fast forward 25 years, same street, same tree, but there's an 11-year-old boy, Waldo, who's looking at constellations on his iPad with Dr. Wilf. He and Waldo have a special bond, a closeness the doctor can't have with his own children, and which Waldo lacks with his own father. Signal Fires explores time and place in a very fluid way. And there are many mystical concepts in this book also. The author, Dani Shapiro, recalls that she began this book 15 years ago. And she started the book, wrote 200 pages. The characters of Dr. Wilf and Waldo were completely formed, but she couldn't get the rest of the book. And so she put it away in a closet. 7 years ago, her husband wanted her to take a DNA test just as a lark. And she does this, and she finds that the father she thought to be her biological father, the father she was so close to growing up, was not her biological father. And he had passed away when she was just 23 years old. But when she searches for her biological father, and she finds that he is in fact a kindly doctor, same kind of doctor, a thoracic surgeon that Ben Wilf is. How do you explain that? So she wrote the book Inheritance, the memoir, which if you haven't read it, I strongly recommend it. If you want to do it as an audio, as I did, she reads the audio, and it's just gripping. So that test was the impetus to write the memoir. And then during the pandemic, she was literally cleaning out a closet, as many of us were doing, and she discovered the unfinished manuscript, and she was able now to complete it.